with a, hey my lovies. What's great is I heard there was this thing that kind of dropped on YouTube the other day. Actually, I was scrolling through my feed and I saw this hot little red bone. Talk about the next best thing is sex. I don't know about all that, but I'd probably put it like this. Giving your spouse the freedom to be themselves makes sex better. Tia kind of went into some of the aspects that we agreed upon a long time ago. Tia and I have actually been together for over 17 and a half years, almost 18 years. And when I say together, that means, you know, high school, when she was a senior, I was a freshman in college. I was doing my thing in college. She made it through all that. That was a lot. And then we decided to get more serious 2008. And she was the lucky woman I chose back in 2010. I said, baby, will you marry me? In preparation for marriage, we did do a marriage counseling course, and that was called Radical Love. There are some outlets that you can find that in the Atlanta area. I'm not sure if it's nationwide yet, but Radical Love was basically a program to help folks that are not just newlyweds or people who are looking to become married, but also couples who were dealing with some heartache throughout their relationship. So there was a whole plethora of different stages of marriage. And I can tell you, I don't remember everything about that course. But one thing that did stick out about that course was exactly what Tia touched on, and that's giving your spouse the freedom to be themselves. And that being the greatest gift that you can give your lover. I had a chance to watch Tia's video, right? So I'm looking through it and she's talking about me. She's talking about me. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm a great guy. I like to do my thing. And I look through the comments and they're like, yo, I want Trey's perspective on this. So if y'all really want my perspective on it, this is what I think about it, all right? The greatest gift you can give your spouse is the ability to be themselves. And what I mean by that is not just the mantra of, you know, do you or be you, but honestly in everything, in the essence of who your spouse is, giving them an opportunity to express themselves to you and to the world. And not only you taking a back seat and letting them do what they do, but encouraging them, providing some insights on how they can become a better you. And I think that is a huge part to the success of me and Tia's marriage. So she talked about, one, my humor. Yes, I enjoy having a good time. I like making people laugh. At times, when you are the guy who's providing the comic relief, there's always an opportunity to go overboard. So balance is important. And Tia is definitely that balance because she's not funny at all. She also talked about my inability to sit down somewhere. Basically, I'm always on the go. I've been like that since I popped out that thing, right, Ma? My mom would tell you. Since I popped out, I've been on the go. And I don't plan on stopping no time soon. I'm going to keep it going. I think one of the things that's important for me to highlight is how it is that I support my lady. Like, how is it that, you know, me, a guy that has a big personality, extrovert, someone who loves to take the energy from a room and add more to it, keep it going. No need to stop the party now. Let's keep moving. So for my wife, there are a lot of areas that we are not alike. We are very different people. And I think that is exactly why it works. When we first got married, I remember like it was yesterday. We got back from the honeymoon, sat on the couch at the crib, and we sat there and realized, I was like, yo, what are we gonna do today? And she's like, I don't know. And I realized up to that point what we had done was go out to eat, go see a movie, go out to eat, go see a movie, go out to eat, go bowling. And a lot of it wasn't necessarily, hey, what do you like to do? What do I like to do? We really just did like normal dating stuff. So we sat on the couch and I'm like, yo, what you like to watch on TV? At the time, she was watching a little bit of the Ratchet TV. And that's when I feel like I overcorrected, because now Tia is officially, and here, I'll touch on this first point. from an entertainment perspective, Tia, I believe, when she's watching television, which is why we don't watch television a lot together, Tia is like a rich old white woman. What she likes to watch, whether it's Downton Abbey, Call the Midwife, or The Crown, anything on TV that has a bunch of white folk with an accent and like those funny looking wigs, she loves it. Absolutely loves it. And for me, I'm like, yo, you know, the black guy in me, like, there's no representation inside this video. Why would I watch this? But I don't ride her no more because you've been doing it for years. So when you talk about giving your spouse the freedom to be themselves, are you okay with the fact that your wife likes a whole nother form of entertainment? Like, a perfect night in Tia's world may be, hey, let's order dinner in. Let's not go out and deal with people. Let's turn on Downton Abbey and watch a 2-hour-long episode of people with accents, and you can't turn away because you have to read the words on the screen. Like, that is my wife to a T. And for me, I had to learn over time, like, she's not gonna like Fast and the Furious. Like, I love Fast and the Furious. I don't care if y'all can call me simple or what, but I love Fast and Furious. Toretto, oh man, Brian, rest in peace. But behind that, I had to understand that we like different stuff. So when I got married, or when I was looking for a wife, one of the things that was big to me is I didn't want to find the same exact thing that I am. Like, I was literally looking for someone that was less like me, or less from a situation like I came up in. I'm a very easygoing, free-spirited person. And the household that I grew up in was very encouraging from a, you know, live your life, live your dream, find what you're passionate about, seek after those things that bring you joy and hope, and live for that. Like, that's all that matters in this life, where that is true. But sometimes you have a hard time finding a job doing stuff like that, or finding exactly what it is that your niche is. Whereas for Tia, it started like when we were even dating, and I knew like this was something I loved about her mama. I would go pick up Tia and be like, yo, we were going to the movies, of course. And I'd be like, yo, I'm coming to pick you up, blah, blah. She's like, okay, just be there in like 5 minutes. So I get there, 5 minutes, boom, in the driveway. I call her phone again. She's like, you're just gonna have to wait a quick second. My mom want me to vacuum the steps. I'm like, bruh, vacuum the steps? Who does that? And you just did that the last time we went on a date. Like, every time it was time for me to pick her up, her mama gave her another chore. And when I went inside, every time I went in her house, it was spotless. She literally did not play about them dishes, them floors, and specifically them steps. Like, the carpets was a given, but the steps, I knew I wanted my crib to be clean when I grew up. And I knew I'm not a dirty person, but does it bother me to throw my clothes on the side of the bed when I get home? No, I'll get to it. There's a lot of other life that has to be lived instead of me spending time cleaning up these clothes. So I knew when I picked her, it was gonna be like, my crib could probably be tight. Did I know what I was signing up for? OCD. This woman here, I'm telling you, and she done train me. This is part, look, y'all gonna be like, yo, Trey, why you sitting in front of your closet? Cause I'm proud. Do y'all see my closet? Look, my clothes is folded. My stuff is hung up. Did my wife do it? No. Guess who did it? I did it. And I think a lot of that has to do with who my wife is. Like, she has literally set the expectation of, hey, I need you to handle your own. But I try and help her out and allow her world to be full of peace, and she can kind of go about her day with lower stress levels by me doing my part and keeping my side of the bed clean, keeping my closet clean, and giving her a little less things to worry about, especially with the kids. That is a piece of who she is. Like, she is just that type of personality. Everything has a place, everything has a time, and everything has to be where it's supposed to be in order for her to experience her peace. All right, do you, boo? Clean up all day if you want, I guess, if that make you happy, right? But I love it. You know, it's beneficial. When I have people over there like, yo, y'all crib is always clean. Y'all, how do you have 2 kids and your crib is spotless? You know, minus dash throwing stuff around. But it's because of my wife, and I love that about her. I can say one thing that always drew me to my wife was not only the cleanliness. Like, she is one of the hardest workers that I know. Like, very focused, and when she says she's gonna do something, you know that to-do list you always put together every day? She actually does those things on the to-do list. Whereas me, like, I get like 2 in and I feel accomplished, and it's kind of like, well, the rest can wait till tomorrow. But for her, she's very organized, very task-driven, and I love those things about her. And for me, sometimes I try and get in the way and say, hey, you don't even got to just chill out, like relax a little bit. And I have to realize sometimes I gotta pull back on even that attitude. One of the reasons I love her is because she can get stuff done. Like, it is who she is, and that brings her peace. And I support who she is as a person and as like a neat freak fanatic. All right, so another example of how I allow my wife to be herself. In 2014, I think. My wife, of course, she was, if you know anything about her story, she was an attorney. She is an attorney still, but doesn't practice. One of her passions that came out of, a vision that she had was becoming a content creator, not only on YouTube, but across, different platforms. And I saw how hard she worked inside of her day in and day out career, like her job. Like, being an attorney, she was there on time. I mean, she had a kid. She would come home and do work. She was looking up cases and doing all this research, and I would see how hard she was working to make stuff happen. And for me, when I saw that her passion was growing and her love for content creation and encouraging women like her to be themselves and be who it is that God called you to be and to walk in their purpose. As a man, I had to really take a step back and say, God, like, I had a vision. I'm a family man, and you align me with this woman. Like, how is it that I can help her become who she's supposed to be? And in turn, how is that going to impact, like, my family story? Like, for me, God gave me a huge vision for impacting folks in marriage, bringing, the black family to the forefront and encouraging people to show that, you can be a dad, you can be married and young and black with kids and successful and have everything it is that, your heart desires. And with her creating this platform, was like, yo, God, maybe this is bigger than me. And that's where it is that we both were obedient. And if you ask how I support my wife and being who she is, this is a piece of who she is. Beautifully Made is a piece of who she is. And I totally support it. That was, in 2014 when I made the decision, like, babe, quit your job. I got it. Quit your job, pursue your passion, and go after what's yours. Like, you are beautifully made. You are who you are. You do it well. Get it done. Do it. Do it with your whole heart. And I support you being who you are. Period. So if you need a better example than that, anytime somebody can leave what you perceive. When I got married, I thought I was marrying a lawyer, not a content creator. But for me, I understood it was bigger than me. It's what it is that her purpose is. Let her encourage families and women, not just of color, but women across the board, like, to be themselves and be fully who God called them to be, period. Another way that I allow my wife to be who she is, and I support that, I would probably say from a fashion sense because she had like her own little vibe. Like she had her own little swag. Like I think the first time I seen Tia, she had like on like leather pants and a leather jacket in like high school. Like nobody was rocking leather in high school. Not in like early 2000s. Nah, bruh. I would say from a fashion sense, I remember trying to make her more like me. Like at the time I loved tennis shoes, I loved sneakers. So I would like try and like buy her like, I don't know, Jordans or some shoes that I felt like I would want her to be in or look a certain way. And I got a quick little adjustment, and she really told me like, yo, like I'll rock the Chucks from time to time, that's cool, but honestly like tennis shoes and sneakers, they ain't really my thing. Like that's not like what I enjoy wearing. I don't really like hats. I kind of like these little funky boots. Like she got a couple of pairs of like funky boots that I just had to really just be like, oh, okay, babe, you do what you do. Allowing her the opportunity to be who she is and express herself through fashion has been a growing process for me. Like, yeah, my wife is dope. Like, do I always have to say something when what she puts on doesn't necessarily make me feel like, yo, that's the one I would have chose for you? Nah, it's a battle like all the time. I might be like, yo, babe, we going out on a date. And she come out with some little funky Tia thing. And I'm like, okay, you know. And I gotta bite my tongue sometimes. So I realize like by me asking that next question, yo, babe, like, you wanna like put these on? Like that's me really like taking a piece of who she is out of it. Like you gotta allow people to express themselves, even if it's down to a simple matter like fashion. Like that's a huge part for me. For me, I'm like a consignment shop hat guy with the Chucks, and I think from a lens looking outside looking in is like when she sees me, she like, ain't nobody worried about you. Like you wear the same 3 t-shirts and that same black hat and them same Chucks every day. I don't know why you think you so fresh, and I don't know why I think I'm so fresh. I think I'm fresh. Maybe it's the confidence thing. Allow your spouse to be who they are. Like stop tripping. Y'all tripping, trying to control these women. Anytime somebody be like, yo, nice to meet you. You know, you're such a big personality. I love you so much. Like, when's your birthday? I'm like, does it matter when my birthday is? And they're like, I'm like, October. And they're like, oh, so you're a Libra. I'm like, yeah, that's what they say. So I bring that up to say like, I never really been into that stuff. It's not like a huge deal to me. I feel like everybody like created differently. Also, I think the way that I was raised, it kind of closed my mind off to a lot of things, which I'm slowly being more open to and realizing that, you know, God is sovereign, and if he created the stars and the water and energy itself and how it all comes together to create the human experience. For my wife, I think with her experiencing more life, she's really like become more in tune with like, not necessarily like horoscope stuff, like, but your signs as far as like, what do you call those things? I don't even know what it's called. Yeah, so not if it's not your horoscope, it's your zodiac sign. All right, so zodiac signs, I'm a Libra, and I always even forget, like I'm so not into it, I don't even know my wife, so I think it's, so she's a Virgo, all right? I know this because she sent me a text message one day and she was just like, stop being so closed-minded to stuff. Like, I'm not saying that you can read your palm or look into a crystal ball. I'm just saying that the stars aligned on the day that I was made and the day you was made, and just at least go read up on different personalities. I was like, cool. Allow my wife the freedom to be herself, because it ain't necessarily me. So I go look up Virgo, and I started reading some of this stuff. I was like, wow, this stuff is pretty close. Like the Virgo like little read up little thing, that thing really was pretty damn close to who my wife is. So I couldn't really argue. It's still not really my thing, but if that's something that she's more in tune with and it's not harmful to my family, and I stay prayed up. So it's like inside of that, allowing her the freedom to like seek and search, like as a man, as like a man who believes in a higher power, believes in God, like you also gotta believe that you're not in control. Like to think that you're in control almost minimizes who God is. And for my wife's journey, yes, we journey together. Yes, I cover her, but it is important for her to have her process of seeking and searching and finding who it is that God is for herself. And I think we are very much evenly yoked. But along those journeys, there's different things that she'll find, that maybe she'll expose me to, or I do the same. But really the freedom to like be okay with seeking and searching. Like I think that's what it is that God asks for us to do. Like, come find me, I'm here. Even if you looking up your birthday, maybe there's something God put in there. I don't know, cause you ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers straight. I don't want to make this video too long, just like Tia said, but honestly, like I can say, giving your spouse the freedom to be themselves is, I wouldn't say it's the next best thing to sex, but it does make sex better. The freedom to be yourself allows you to be fully who you are. And I think that's what it is that we do best. And those are the areas that can increase someone's confidence in who they are. And anytime you get two people that are confident together in a relationship and you put them in a bed, I'm telling you, boy, you put that little nighttime apple mix on, boy. You want more or daddy? Hey, in closing, I love y'all. Hopefully this was helpful. For me and my wife, we have found great success inside of this, and we're still growing. We don't know each other, not just yet. We got a whole lifetime to go, and I'm sure that we'll continue to evolve. But I want to encourage you, your spouse, your future spouse, like really experience who the person you love is. Like allow them to mature, allow them to progress, allow them to change, allow them to be themselves. All right? Love you. Peace.